We've all been there, right? Sitting through a training session that just completely misses the mark. Well, today we're going to crack the code on how to build learning experiences that actually work, that actually stick. Because when you're training your team, having a solid plan isn't just a nice to have, it's everything.
Seriously, think about it. Have you ever tried to put together some of that flat-pack furniture without looking at the instructions? It's a special kind of chaos, isn't it? You end up with this wobbly table, a pile of screws you're sure should have gone somewhere. It's just pure frustration.
Well, believe it or not, that's pretty much how a lot of corporate training gets built. It's all good intentions, but there's no solid structure. And the result? It's that same wobbly, frustrating experience for learners. So today, we are swapping that chaos for clarity. We're going to use a time-tested, 5-step blueprint for success.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll get to know the ADDIE blueprint itself. Then, we're going to dive deep into its 5 core phases, step by step. After that, we'll give it a fair report card. Check out the pros and cons. And finally, we'll see how this classic model keeps itself sharp and relevant even today.
All right, first things first. Let's get acquainted with this blueprint. The ADDIE model isn't some new fad. It's a foundational framework that's been the secret weapon for instructional designers for decades.
So what in the world is ADDIE? Well, it's actually an acronym. It stands for the 5 crucial phases for building any learning program: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. It actually came out of Florida State University way back in the 70s, and it's not just some old idea, it's the bedrock that so much of modern instructional design is built on.
And here are those 5 phases, all laid out. You can see how it creates this really logical path, right? You start with analysis, and you flow all the way through to evaluation. But this isn't just a simple checklist. It's a cycle. It's designed to take you from a vague idea of a problem to a really sharp, effective solution. So let's break them down.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it. We're going to pull apart each of these 5 phases so you can see exactly what role each one plays in building a fantastic learning program.
We kick things off with analysis. And honestly, this is probably the most critical step of them all. If you get this part wrong, the whole project is built on a shaky foundation. The goal here isn't to start finding solutions. It's about digging deep to find the real problem.
Think of the analysis phase as being a detective. You have to ask the tough questions before you even think about building anything. Questions like, hey, is training even the right answer here? Or what specific skills are people actually missing? And who exactly are we building this for? Nailing down these answers first gives you a crystal clear target to aim for.
Okay, so once you know where you're going, it's time for the design phase. I love this analogy. Think of this as creating the architectural drawings for your learning building. This is where you map out the structure, the flow, and the whole strategy before a single brick gets laid. And this is where all those details start to come to life. You're not just making a list of topics. No, you're crafting the whole experience. You're making storyboards, you're deciding, is this going to be an online course or an in-person workshop? And, super importantly, you're figuring out exactly how you're going to measure success before you've even built the thing. Now, with a solid blueprint in hand, we can move on to the development phase. And this is the really fun part. This is the construction stage. It's where all those plans and storyboards you made actually become real, tangible learning materials. This is where you get your hands dirty. You're actually shooting the videos, you're programming the interactive quizzes, and you're writing the final copy. But just as important, you're running constant quality checks. You're hunting down every little typo and glitch so that your learners have a smooth experience. All right, next up, implementation. This is the launch. It's the grand opening. This is that moment you've been working towards, when you finally deliver the training program to the people it was built for, your learners.
But, implementation is so much more than just clicking a publish button. It means you have a communication plan to get people excited. It means providing support for your instructors and your students. And it means gathering that incredibly valuable real-time feedback as people actually start using the material. And that brings us to the final phase, evaluation. This is the step that makes ADDIE a cycle of continuous improvement, not just some one-and-done process. It's really all about asking one simple, powerful question. Did it work? And to get the answer to that question, you've got to look at the evidence. You collect surveys, you analyze performance data, and you measure your final results against those goals you set way back in the analysis phase. See, this isn't about just grading your project. It's about finding out what you need to know to make the next training even better. So we've walked through all 5 phases. But what's the real story? What are the actual pros and cons of using this model in the real world? It's time to give ADDIE its report card.
So on the plus side, ADDIE is amazing because it's so systematic and structured. It really encourages teamwork, and you can customize it to fit just about any project. But that very same structured nature can also be a downside. In really fast-paced, agile environments, its step-by-step process can sometimes feel a bit slow and lead to delays.
Now, hearing that it can be slow, you might be wondering, well, is ADDIE even still relevant? And the answer is a huge yes. Because here's the thing, it has evolved. Let's take a look at how you can make this model truly modern. Because that core framework is so flexible, people have adapted it. For example, some teams add a planning phase right at the start, which turns ADDIE into PADDIE to help manage budgets and timelines better. Others tack on a maintenance phase at the end, making it PADDIE plus M to make sure the training stays up to date. It's all about tweaking the blueprint to fit your specific project.
And here's how you can really supercharge each step today. Instead of just intuition, you can use data to analyze needs. You can design truly personalized learning paths for each person. You can develop your content with all the amazing modern interactive tools out there. You can implement the training right inside someone's daily workflow, not separate from it. And finally, you can use continuous real-time feedback to evaluate and improve constantly.
Look, at the end of the day, the ADDIE model gives you a powerful, reliable blueprint that has absolutely stood the test of time. It gives you the structure you need to turn a messy problem into a powerful learning solution. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?